Somebody on Twitter today said that they didn't get the grades for their university and it felt like the end of the world, and they wanted some advice on how to cope with that. Now, I'm not sure if a 20-year-old who's still afraid of the dark is the best person to ask for advice, but I'm going to give it a go. It's not true that it's not the end of the world if you don't get the grades for your university or for your college, because it is the end of one world. It's the end of that imagined world where you go to that university and you become a nuclear physicist and you fall in love with someone who looks a bit like young James Potter, and you make out with him in a pile of autumn leaves and you're both wearing scarves. It's also the end of that imagined future where it turns out that one of your housemates is also totally into Doctor Who, and they help you out in your physics lab, and they're in the wedding party when you graduate and marry young James Potter wearing a super edgy Vera Wang gown. But if you don't go to that university, you might go to another university and you might become a doctor or a hairdresser instead of a nuclear physicist, and you might fall in love with someone who looks like Andrew Garfield or Keira Knightley. If you don't go to university, you might get a job because you have to, but it might turn out that you like that job you got out of necessity because of the people, or the location, or the customers, or the lessons you learn, or the opportunities that it brings you. You might hate that job, but realise at the end of the day that it is only a job. In your spare time, you might write poetry, or paint, or run 5k every day, or fix up cars, and eventually you might find a way to turn your favourite hobby into your full-time job. And if right now you want to lie in your room and cry because you didn't get your grades, then that's okay. But make sure at some point you get up and you wipe off your face and you feel like a pimp and brush your shoulders off. Because it's the end of one world, but it's not the end of all the worlds. It's the beginning of this new, so far unimagined world, full of excitement and possibility and maybe even dinosaurs. And you know what? You just might like it.